All right, welcome to segment 6. And this evening, our guest is Ed Ronkowski, who's the chairman of the Will County Republican Central Committee. And what I want to talk about is this has been a really ugly primary. I mean, and without pointing fingers at anyone, it seems to revolve a lot around Donald Trump. You pointed out earlier in the show how coming to Chicago has its own connotation, which was not anticipated by the Trump campaign. But just look at it. Even for Chicago, did you see the video of the guy shooting a MAC-10? Did you see that?
No, I didn't see that one.
Oh, yeah. When they actually succeeded in shutting it down, when Trump threw in the towel, there's a guy out in the middle of the crowd just fired a MAC-10 into the air, celebrating. This is getting over the top. You saw where the Secret Service guys hugged Trump, almost took him off the stage?
I did see that one.
Yeah, that was yesterday, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. This has gotten to be ugly.
Well, I haven't seen this kind of violence in politics since 1968, almost a half century ago.
Yeah.
It's unprecedented. And they're violating his constitutional rights, violating our constitutional rights to listen to him. You know, it doesn't say he has to be cogent and politically correct. He just has the right to speak. And they're depriving it. Well,
and that's a really good point. You look, we talked about on the show a little bit. Sanders, I can't picture him being the president. Forget about the economics and the socialism and all. Forget all that. The very fact that 3 Black Lives Matter people got up in the podium and said, we're taking over, and he just walked away. He just capitulated.
He caved like a Dixie cup.
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of like Obama in the Ukraine. Just
a lot
walked
like that.
away and
Yes.
capitulated.
That's
a lot
right.
like that. Yeah,
that is
like
the
Obama bowing to the Saudi prince.
Yeah.
Like that.
It is. It's scary where we have evolved to. Now this thing in Chicago, Soros is taking credit for it. MoveOn.org. He's taking credit for having sparked it to cause that to happen.
Well, we got Trump and they got Soros.
And there you go.
Yeah, it's a little unclear. I mean, Soros shamelessly paid protesters to go to Ferguson and Baltimore. I'm not unconvinced that he paid protesters to protest in Chicago, and I think they were already here. He didn't have to bus them in.
Yeah.
But then there's people holding Bernie signs. Now, are those organic Bernie supporters, or are those the Soros people? As they were walking up, they were handing out Bernie signs. You know, that's unclear. You know,
in Chicago, there's full of left-wing wackos out there that are willing to do violence. You know, there's nothing new there.
Right.
The only thing that's new is that the cops are getting beat up and bloodied, and it's been unprecedented for doing it this bad for 50 years.
And it's ironic that supposedly a liberal actually even owns a MAC-10 in Chicago.
It's not that ironic.
There's a little irony there.
Yeah, they're duplicitous to no end. The roster of concealed carry permits in New York City reads like a who's who of Hollywood and the political elite, and that's what it takes. I haven't looked at it for about a year, but the concealed carry permit application was something like 24 pages long for New York, and they were asking for. You had to give them, it's funny to even say this, you had to give them the original copy of a year's worth of your bank records.
Oh my gosh.
You had to give them your original Social Security card. I mean, it was this long list of stuff that nobody basically could do. And that was, or you had to be somebody famous and you had to know whoever the mayor was, whoever hands out the ticket. Yeah. And that's how you got it. That's liberalism. To think that a person like Rosie O'Donnell, who hates guns, and then it turns out she has armed bodyguards that surround her. And when somebody confronts her, she goes, well, I don't own them. Well,
not my guns, yeah.
you're paying people with guns, you know. Well, see, liberalism, that's okay. I can do that. But you can't do that. That's what we've gotten to. These are spoiled people. And this is Lyndon Johnson. This is what happens when you bribe people to vote for you. Eventually, after 3 and 4 or 5 generations, they get to the point where they don't even know anyone in their family that's had a job, and now all they expect is give me more, give me more.
Although on the other hand, I wonder what would happen if they stopped bribing them, because I'm not sure that they even would know any better than than to connect the two. You know what I mean? Because as you're saying, we're like fourth generation on. They're not even necessarily connecting the two.
Yeah, but there's ways you could do it. I think it was Maine where they said, okay, our food stamp program, we're going to require that if you get food stamps, you have to take a job. And immediately 80% of the people withdrew. They did not want food stamps if they had to work for it.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
When you start unwinding is, I think, going to be very difficult. If you just said, from now on, you're on your own, you'll have chaos. You'll have utter chaos.
Oh, well, and I don't even think that they should do that. I mean, surprisingly, I'm going to actually say something supportive of Bill Clinton. He reformed the SNAP program back in the 90s when he was president. And it was actually successful of getting people, less welfare, more work, not cutting them off cold turkey, but, encouraging work and not penalizing work, which is what the program has traditionally done in many states. Now, it's administered on a state-by-state basis, so you can't really blame the federal government. It's whatever rules the various states put on it. And if they don't set up any rules, then then it's on them of the way that it works. But yeah, and people, it relies on people to self-report if they get a job and they don't need it anymore. They've exceeded the income level and that sort of thing.
Good luck on that.
Right. I mean, you get lottery winners who are still using their food stamps and collecting their welfare.
Well, the mindset, one can only imagine what that is.
That is Ed's phone.
That's your phone, Ed?
Okay, it's done.
Hi. Nice having you on the show again. With the, what's the card?
Oh, it's John from Crete.
That kids get?
Link. In Illinois,
it's not in Link. In Illinois, it's Link. There's a kid who was embarrassed because he didn't have a Link card that he could afford to buy lunch. I mean, this is the mindset that's permeated young people.
It's so cultural now.
It is. And I just don't know how, we've said this before, and I'm saying it again, I don't know how you unravel this. These people taken to the streets, okay, let's say some are being paid and they're put up to it. There's a lot of people out there. And they believe what they're saying.
Yeah.
We may not like it, but they believe what they're saying. They honestly think that they have the right to do that. If somebody did it to them, we wouldn't have the right to do that.
Right.
That's how this thing has evolved. And I don't know, how do you unwind that? How do we ever unwind that?
I don't know.
Well, that was a short show.
It's a good question. I did remember what I was going to say about John from Crete on when we were on the phone with him. He was saying that 54% of Catholic males voted for Obama in the last election. And I do agree with him that it does not make sense and there is no reason why Catholics should be voting Democrat. Catholics should be, they're pro-life, and they should be voting Republican.
It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Now, our Archbishop was just down at St. Sabina's. You see that?
No.
Yes. Celebrating Mass with the Reverend Father Flager and telling people how, I can't remember the exact words he used, but how he's a fighter for the people and stuff like that. Instead of saying, excuse me, you're a whack job, you are a nutcase, which he is.
Yeah.
This is the guy who picketed in front of Chuck's gun shop and said, you should go in there and drag the owner out, John. You should drag him out. We should drag him out and kill him in the street. This is a priest.
Right.
That's not how I see tending to your flock.
And again, somewhat ironic that you're protesting violence in Chicago and you're saying that this business and this man contributes by selling guns, but yet you want to drag him out in the street and kill him.
Yeah. It takes a little time to compute.
Well,
that.
when you have a business
It does not compute.
goes in the ghetto and depends on the ghetto people for supporting it. And for the last 50 years, the social programs that have been offered to them has made it worse. Black unemployment is now 50%. In the ghetto, the blacks don't live as long. Under Obama, all income inequality has gotten worse. So what do? So they're like shock jocks. They got to say this stupid stuff to try to keep their flock together, because if they start telling them the truth, they're going to go, wait a minute, We need the Republican solution. Democratic solution has made it worse.
Exactly. And that's what I say to people. I go, they go, you Republicans are haters. You know, you're trying to hold. I go, excuse me. This started in what, 62, 63? Under Lyndon Johnson. Every year we've put more money into saving these people, and every year it gets worse. I mean, somewhere along the line, they got to go, this isn't working.
Right.
It's like Detroit. Hillary made the best comment I've ever seen. Not Detroit, the water thing.
Flint.
About Flint. Did you see that?
No.
Okay, she goes, it's the Republicans' fault. Now, somebody got a picture of the village council of Flint, and it's about half black and half white. Every one of them is a Democrat. Every one of them. There isn't a Republican that holds a job in Flint, but of course, it's the Republicans' fault. And people will believe it.
Why would a voter want to vote for somebody when you do a simple fact check and find out they're just lying right out of their teeth on everything?
They don't do simple
They just
fact
don't
checks.
care. Yeah.
They're
I
lazy.
actually posted a meme on Facebook. I reshared a meme and said, the problem is not that Hillary is like a liar and everybody knows it. Everybody already knows that. The problem is that people will vote for her anyway.
That is the problem.
That's
You're
the part
absolutely
that's
right.
disturbing. Yeah,
Right.
and it is.
It's like Obama. You know, Obama's bad enough, but what really worries me is that he got realected. That's the part that
Yeah,
worries me.
that's the disturbing part.
Yeah, these
And
people
I would say, and I said it. I think it was last week. I said I think it's half. I think it's half ignorant, like blind devotion, and I
Yes.
think it's half fraud.
They're lemmings.
I think there's a lot of fraud inherent in that.
Well, I don't know how this is going to end with Trump and all. You don't think I don't know. What do you think about him in the primary?
It's going to be very close. They may be able to derail Trump. But if Trump wins the primary, Hillary will be the next president unless she gets indicted.
I'm not so sure that Edwin Edwards, the governor of Louisiana, got reelected under federal indictment. I'm not sure that that'll slow her down.
Well, they may do to Hillary what they did to Judge McDermott when he was indicted right after he won an election for judge in Cook County. But they took him into custody before they could swear him under oath. And they tried to get a judge in there to swear him into his judgeship so they could start paying him. And the Metro Correctional Center says, no, you can't do that. So what we need is the Department of Justice that runs the prison system is to not let anybody in there to swear Hillary into the oath as president.
The problem is who controls the DOJ.
The president.
Well, it's Obama. I think what's going to happen is Obama's waiting till Hillary gets enough delegates to win the convention, and then they're going to indict her, take her in custody. And Joe Biden's going to walk in at convention and say, "You looking for a savior? I'm willing to take those delegates over."
And you'll see Mitt Romney look from around the corner.
Yeah.
What? Does somebody want a savior?
Yeah.
All
I'm
right.
here if you need me.
Yeah, exactly. Hi, I'm here. I can go either way.
Yeah. Exactly.
All right. Well, that's
Usually that's the call of the Democrats.
Yeah, take that. That's exactly right. Would you like a wedding cake?
That's exactly what it is. Or if not Mitt Romney, maybe Mark Kirk could
That would work.
show up.
They'd be a good couple. It's been an interesting evening, and we'll see what happens on Tuesday. It's some of them are. You're right. Trump's going to be hard. You can say anything you want about him. He's got a following, and he's got the money. So I don't know.
Oh yeah, John's after him, ready to go support him.
Yeah.
in Crete.
Yeah, that's right. That helps.
That's one.
We'll talk about this, I'm sure, next Sunday night after the primary. But until then, for segment 6, thanks for watching.